Hello and welcome to today's video. Today I'm at Tuapero Point, which is approximately 45 minutes drive north of the city of Tauranga. Tuapero Point is one of my favourite spots in the whole of New Zealand. In 2021, when I first got on the road in my motorhome, fairly early on I arrived at this spot and it was a beautiful sunny day. The water was flat, very similar to today, and it reminded me of literally being in the Pacific Islands, so almost tropical. There were people riding horses on the beach, and just a wonderful, quiet spot to be. Water just lapping behind me at high tide. It's possible to swim here, and then at low tide it's almost possible to walk way out to Matakana Island way in the background of this shot. Today I'm going to talk to you about gold and rainbows, and I'll just tell you about how that came about in terms of the topic. Initially I was just driving up here and I had this inspiration to talk about rainbows, and when I got to Tuapero Point I was chatting online with somebody and they were asking me about my favourite places in New Zealand, and I mentioned the West Coast, and it brought back some memories of being on the West Coast and actually panning for gold down on the West Coast of New Zealand. So that's part of New Zealand which is well known for its gold production, and still is. And members of the public, you can go panning in some of the creeks there, and I've spoken about that a little bit in some of my videos before, and certainly spoken about it in my writings. And I got out of my motorhome, and there were some other motorhomes here, and there was a guy with a metal detector, and he was sort of searching around in the grass, and I asked him whether he was looking for an extension of the gold mine, because about 20 minutes north of here is one of New Zealand's biggest gold mining, underground gold mines, sorry. It's at Waihi, the township of Waihi. It's been producing for many, many years and continues to extend. So I am in gold exploration area, even though there's a lot of restriction on gold mining these days. And he was just searching around for anything he could find in terms of just metal in the lost rings or coins. But he did mention he was going to the West Coast as well to actually soon to do some searching for gold. So that sort of brought back all those memories as well. So I was just walking along and still thinking about rainbows as my topic, and then song came up on my playlist, which was from Neil Young, After the Gold Rush. And so I thought I'm going to include gold into this topic today, so I'll see if I can fit everything into a relatively short video. So it's going to be gold and rainbows. And just to start off with, you can see I'm very resplendent in my rainbow colours. I've got my rainbow buff on and a rainbow hoodie. Colours are so important in my life now. I mean, it's literally surrounding myself in the colours, because I know what the colours can do for me, the frequency, just the visuals and the frequency of the colours, aligning with my chakras, so the 7 colours of the rainbow and the chakras, just has so much deep meaning to me. Beyond that, I also I'm wearing a gold ring, which I'll just hold up, so just a gold ring there. While it looks like a wedding band, I've never been married, but I bought that gold ring many years ago, sort of soon after starting work really. I just wanted to have a gold ring because I was always interested in gold, and I do speak about my interest in gold in my writing, which is viviendolamahia.nz.com, which is my major writing there, plus some small other written stories. And all through my life I've had an attraction to gold, so it's just been deep in my being. And also I carry with me a little vial here, which I'll show you. So in there is some gold that I pan for on the West Coast. I do have some other gold that I haven't yet put into the vial, but I just carry that with me, and one day I'll probably utilise that to make something special. So the first topic I'm going to speak to you about is gold, and I'm just going to relate this into, I talk about me being many things, and 3 main things that I am. I'm a holder of the light, I'm a seeker of the knowledge, so my journey still continues and will be never ending, and I'm a carrier of the gold. So literally, I've always been a carrier of gold, but to start off with, it was more that physical attraction to gold. I also talk about the alchemy of life, so alchemy, turning lead into gold. So my whole journey has been alchemy, turning the dark into the light. Not that I knew it at the time, but I know it for certain now. And I'll just relate two stories about gold. Firstly, about the gold ring that I held up. I'll hold up again. So I bought that many years ago, and in 2013 my father died and I inherited the family home, and it laid dormant in a way for a number of years, 2 or 3 years, just care and maintenance while I was still continuing on my life. And it was pretty much cleared out towards the end. And one night I was over there late at night, and I decided just to clear out the rest. There were some cupboards that just had a few boxes in them. And I went up into the cupboards and I pulled out the boxes, and in one of the boxes was this gold ring. And I never knew what had happened to my gold ring. I was sure I'd never misplaced it, but I'd put it into a box somewhere, and literally many years later I rediscovered it. So it was there. And at the time I was deeply getting into reading about things spiritual and laws of attraction and everything. And coincidentally, I was also the previous day reading about, it was literally the discovery of a treasure. It was to do with the Masons and the Knights Templar, and in France, a small village called Rennes-le-Château. A priest by the name of Saunier had discovered in the early 1900s, I think, under his altar, had done he was doing renovations and digging, and he found something. And there's a lot of speculation as to what he found, whether it was the treasure of the Jews, that had been transported there, or whether it was the lineage of Christ. But he became very powerful in the church. He was taken to Rome, promoted. So anyway, just tying into all that sort of discovery of treasure, I was reading a lot about laws of attraction. So just at that moment in time, I decided to put my ring on, because I thought, well, gold attracts gold. Now, without a word of a lie, I then walked into my father's bedroom, or where he had slept. And in there now was not much, except there was a filing cabinet, a locked filing cabinet. And in that filing cabinet, it contained a lot of old documents that I'd been through a number of times, nothing of value. But there was 2 safety deposit boxes, 2 small ones, but I didn't have the keys for them. And so they had remained unopened, actually, since his death in 2013. And I only thought that they might just contain things like some old stamps or some maybe special documents, etc. And my father, towards the end of his life, had actually had a safe in his house, and he had kept some cash, but that had all been dealt with at the time of his death. Anyway, I decided just 5 minutes after putting on my gold ring that I was going to open those boxes, but I didn't have the keys. So I went up to the garage and got myself a screwdriver and came back down, and I pried open the first box. And I was right, there was only documents and some stamps in there, some kind of phone cards, which were kind of theoretically collectibles, but not really of any value. Then I opened the second box, the second safety deposit box, so pried that open, and in there was 5 men's leather wallets, and in each of those wallets was $1,000 of $20 bills. I just that moment in time, I relate the story in detail in my writing, but to have thought gold attracts gold or wealth attracts wealth, and to put my ring on after I rediscovered it, walk into the bedroom and have this inspiration to finally pry open those safety deposit boxes and find a treasure, and relating it back into that, I've been reading about treasure as well. Beyond coincidence. This was when I was late 2016, when I was sort of getting right up into the stage that I got onto my definitive spiritual journey. So to have experiences like that just is proof to me of the law of attraction at work. Another thing about the gold, then I went travelling and sort of, as I say, motorhoming in 2021, and I was down in the South Island after that, and I decided to try my hand at gold panning. Didn't have much luck because I didn't really know what I was doing. And then I was much further down south, and one night I was parked up at a lovely spot, it was called Pinder's Pond in Roxburgh, another area of a lot of gold panning or gold exploration back in the 1900s. And I saw a car drive by, and on the side of it, it had gold panning tours. And I went over and spoke to the guy. And anyway, long story short, he used to run gold panning tourist tours at his home in Roxborough against the riverbank. So he had a gold license there. And I said I didn't really know what I was doing. And he said, come round, and he went around this place, and he showed me really how to do some gold panning. So I was getting some knowledge from someone. So, you know, we can tie this all into learning things and the doctrines of life, or the New Age doctrines that I talk about sometimes. Then I went away and applied his knowledge. So I did the work. So I got on the gold panning journey, but like getting on the spiritual journey that I talk about. Having the knowledge, getting on the journey. It was hard work, but it was enjoyable work. Out in sunshine, in the creeks of the West Coast when I drove back up there, and I found gold. Hard work. I didn't find a lot of gold, but I was finding enough to keep me interested. I was doing 6 and 8 hour days. Hard work, but just finding the gold. And what that sort of is an analogy for, as I say, is the spiritual journey. Getting enough knowledge and an inkling that there's something out there, and you can go out there and apply it, get on the path, and you'll find your gold. The universe presented me the gold. And those are just 2 examples there. And I've had some much major more major experiences than those related to this concept of gold. And when I talk about gold and me being a carrier of the gold, I am much more than a carrier of the physical gold. I'm a carrier of all these experiences, all this universal knowledge now. I'm a channel of the universal knowledge, the light. I carry all of that gold within me. And that's what I mean by being a carrier of the gold. I'll get quickly on to rainbows. I don't want to sort of make the video too long, so resplendent in my rainbow colours. I'm so convinced about the chakras now, the energy centres, the activation, the moving of the energies up through the chakras, such that you will ascend to see the light, to open your crown chakra, to reach the 8th chakra, which is the soul star, the white light there. Beyond that, so many other levels to reach of chakras, which I haven't even touched. But the rainbow, it's the spectrum of the white light. I mean, you need to go through literally the colours of the rainbow to get to the white light, or the white light does not exist without the colours. And I guess, just again relating to the most incredible time that I've seen the colours, it was just all shown to me in my ayahuasca ceremonies in July 2025. I mean, the first things I was seeing was lights in the jungle. I was seeing the colours in the jungle. I was seeing colours in front of me in the room. I was seeing all of the visions that, if you look at the Peruvian artwork, the very colourful, descriptive artwork, the entities and how they colour them in with the colours of the rainbow, that's where they get their inspiration from the realms that they can reach when they're in altered states of mind. And I'm talking about ayahuasca, but I'm not saying that that's the only way to see these colours. It's a matter of expanding your vibration of your being to see the colours. I've talked about seeing clarity of colours through other ways in my life. All of the colours I see now is in such clarity. And that was before ayahuasca. And then the most major experience of my life about the rainbow was when I saw the rainbow colours in the clouds during my Sapo experience. So that's the Bufo alvarius, strongest psychedelic experience in the Amazon on that particular retreat. The colours of the rainbow were in the clouds. Then when the flower that I've talked about formed within that 5-minute time period that I was there, the colours all came into that flower. So it was red in the inner circle of petals, orange, then yellow, then green, and on the outside in the clouds that remained were the blue, indigo and violet. and such a strong message that you need to get beyond the heart. The red, orange and yellow, which are your lower chakras, you need to get beyond the heart, so get up into the higher realms to experience the magic of the universe. These, I am convinced, are the gateways to the higher realms. So everything I talk about, my Gnostic universal realms uncovered, symbology, it all ties in with everything I'm talking about. It's just so clear to me now. So I won't continue much beyond that because there's just so much I could talk about. But carrying the gold, so important for me. Rainbow colors, so important to me, and I can only encourage people of that if they're inspired to, just delve into this a little bit, have a think about what may be out there in terms of what I'm talking about. It only came to me when I experienced it, and I am so fortunate, and I will be forever grateful for having this insight that I have had, because it has made my life just beyond words, really. I am trying to express it in words here, but in summary, my energy and the experiences around me is hard to put into words. So anyway, I'll leave the video at that. I'm so happy that I was able to sort of convey that message to people. I do hope that it has brought some light. That is the purpose of me supplying these messages, literally, or just channeling this information, these messages, bringing some light, bringing some inspiration. And as always, I'll continue on the journey, as I say, make some more videos. And in the meantime, I ask that you enjoy the journey. We will meet when we should. And namaste.